Dear students, our next lecture is the 6th number lecture on unit number 1, that is damp free vibration with viscous damping. Now up till now we have seen the fundamental of vibration, then classification of vibration, then free undamped vibration. Now we start with damped free vibration with viscous damping in unit number 1, that is single degree of freedom system free vibration. So let us start with our lecture, that is damp free vibration with viscous damping. So in previous lecture there is only two elements, that is spring and mass. Now in this we have another component of our elements of vibratory system, that is the damper. So there is consider a spring, mass and damper system as shown in figure A. Now the spring having stiffness K, damper having damping coefficient C, and mass is attached to other end of the spring and damper, and one end of spring and damper is fixed. Now this is the mean position of the mass, and from this mean position we are displace this mass from mean position to displaced position through an distance of x, that is the displacement. So this is your equilibrium position and this is mean position or equilibrium position. This is the mean position or equilibrium position of spring mass damper system. Now after giving displacement, that is free vibration is nothing but we have to give initial displacement by applying some external force. So by applying some external force we are giving the displacement, and then we remove this force. So we remove this force. So after giving displacement, the spring is in tensile condition and the damper position is also changed. So it is, this position is below, now this position is above that line. So damper position is changed and the mass is displaced through an displacement of x from mean position to displaced position. So this is your mean position and this is the displaced position. So mass is displaced from mean position to displaced position. Now in displaced position we have to draw the free body diagram of this mass. Now what are the forces will act on this system? So first, because of this displacement is in downward direction, that is displacement x is in downward direction, then velocity, that is x dot, is also in downward direction, and acceleration, that is x double dot, is also in downward direction. So both displacement, velocity and acceleration is in downward direction. So first force that will be act, it is your inertia force. Now what is inertia force? The magnitude of inertia force is mass into acceleration. So what is mass? Mass is m, acceleration is x double dot. So this is the inertia force, that is mass into acceleration. Now, and this is the direction of this inertia force is opposite to that of acceleration. Now acceleration is in downward side, so the inertia force is in upward side. Now similarly spring force. Now we know that spring force, the stiffness is nothing but the force per unit displacement, that is force is F and your displacement is x. So force per unit displacement, that is nothing but the stiffness. Now what is spring force? Spring force is nothing but the k into x, multiplication of k into x. So that spring force kx, it is also resisting, which is now what is the direction of that? Which is direction opposite to the displacement. It is opposite, displacement is in downward side, so the spring force is in upward side. Similarly, there is a damping force. Now what is damping coefficient? The damping coefficient is nothing but the damping force F per unit velocity, that is F upon x dot. So what is damping force? So we can say we are denoting damping force by Fd. So what is damping force? C into Cx dot. So that is nothing but the magnitude of damping force. And what is direction? It is opposite to the velocity. Velocity is also in downward direction. So damping force is in upward direction. So this is the forces acting on the mass in displaced position. So first force is your inertia force, second force is your spring force, and third force is damping force. Now what is the magnitude of inertia force? It is mass into acceleration. So what is mass? Mass is m, and x double dot, that is d2x by dt square. It is nothing but the acceleration. Similarly, what is the spring force? Spring force is nothing but the stiffness into displacement, that is k into x. And what is damping force? Damping force is the damping coefficient c into velocity, that is x dot is the velocity, that is dx by dt. It is the velocity. So let m be the mass of body, which is in the unit of mass is in kg. Then k is the stiffness of spring, unit is Newton per meter. C is the damping coefficient of a damper, unit is Newton second per meter. Then x is your displacement of body from mean position or equilibrium position. Then x dot is your velocity of body, that is in meter per second, and x double dot is the acceleration of body, it is in meter per second square. Now if the system is displaced in downward direction through an distance x from equilibrium position as shown in figure A. Now the weight of body, we are not considering the weight of body because we know that the weight of body is nullified by the displacement, that is spring force K delta. So we are neglecting that. So the weight of body, that is mg, is not considered because it is nullified by a spring force, that is initial spring force K into delta due to static deflection. So delta is static deflection, and that is nothing but the mg is equals to K delta. So we are neglecting, or we are not considered this weight of the body. So there are only three forces are there. First one is the inertia force. What is inertia force? That is mass into acceleration. Then second one is the spring force. So there are only three types of force. First force is inertia force. Magnitude is mass into acceleration, that is mx double dot, and direction is opposite to that of acceleration. Now displacement, velocity, and acceleration all are in downward direction. So the inertia force is opposite to the acceleration, so it is in upward. Similarly, spring force, what is the magnitude? It is k into x, and direction is opposite to the displacement. Similarly, the damping force, the magnitude of damping force is cx dot, and the direction is opposite to the velocity. So these are the three forces. So according to the D'Alembert's principle, we know that algebraic sum of all forces acting on the body or system, it must be equals to 0. So according to D'Alembert's principle, the summation of inertia forces plus all external force must be 0. So what is inertia force? It is mx double dot, and these are the two external forces, that is damping force and spring force. Now what is damping force? It is cx dot, and kx is your spring force. Now all direction are in same direction, so these all are in positive. So mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equals to 0. So this equation, this is the fundamental differential equation of motion for single degree of freedom system having damped free vibration. Now in case of undamped vibration, this term is no there, that is this term is not there in case of undamped vibration. That is the only term is mx double dot plus kx. But in damper, we have another term, additional term, that is cx dot, that is the damping force. So this is your fundamental differential equation of motion for single degree of freedom system having damp free vibration. What is that equation? Mx double dot plus Cx dot plus Kx is equals to 0. So this is your fundamental equation. So this is equation number 1. Now equation 1, it is in linear form and it is second order differential equation because there is d2x by dt square, that is x double dot. So this is second order differential equation, and its solution, if there is linear differential equation which is second order, its solution can be written in the form of x is equals to e raised to st. What is the equation 1? That is this equation. It is a linear differential equation of second order because this x double dot, that is d2x by dt square. So this is second order differential equation, and its solution can be written as the solution, that is displacement x is equals to, the solution displacement x is equals to e raised to st. This is the solution of, that is fundamental solution of this second order differential equation. X is equals to e raised to st, where x is your displacement, e is the base of natural logarithm. Now that base is 2.718, and s is the constant is to be determined, and t is your time in second. So this is equation number 2. Now let differentiate this equation number 2 with respect to t. So if we differentiate this equation 2 with respect to t, we get d by dt of x is equals to d by dt of e raised to st. Now what is d by dt of x? It is the x dot. And what is d by dt of e raised to st? Now again, e raised to x the derivative. What is e raised to x the derivative? E raised to x, which is same derivative rata. So e raised to st is same, and into derivative of st. So with respect to t, the derivative of st is s is constant and dt by dt is 1. So yes, e raised to st. So this is your velocity, that is x dot. Similarly, again we are going to differentiate equation number 3 with respect to t. We have to differentiate this equation with respect to t. So if we differentiate this equation, that is x dot, that is dx by dt, again differentiating it becomes d2x by dt, that is nothing but the acceleration. So we know that d2x by dt is acceleration, and again e raised to st is s is constant, e raised to st, it is e raised to st same, and again derivative of this st is s, so it becomes s square e raised to st. So if we put the equation 2, 3 and 4 in equation number 1, that is we have to put the value of x, that in x dot and x double dot in equation number 1. Now what is equation number 1? It is mx double dot. Now what is value of x double dot? M is same. What is value of x double dot? It is s square e raised to st. So the inertia terms becomes ms square e raised to st. Similarly ch dot, so c into s e raised to st. The value of x dot is s e raised to st. And what is the value of x? It is kx dot, that is what is value of k into x? That is k into e raised to st. Now in that e raised to st, e raised to st is common. So bracket मध्ये काय राहील ms square plus cs plus k, and this e raised to st is goes to this right hand side, that becomes 0. So your equation becomes ms square plus cs plus k is equals to 0. So this equation number 5, that is ms square plus cs plus k is equals to 0. This equation is called as the characteristics equation of damped vibration. This equation is called as characteristic equation of damped vibration. Now we have seen two equations. One is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equals to 0. This is fundamental differential equation of motion for damped free vibration. And this ms square plus cs plus k is equals to 0. This equation is called as characteristic equation of damped free vibration. Now next, Now this ms square plus cs plus k, it is in the form of the equation called as ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. That is the quadratic form of equation. What is this ms square plus cx plus k? It is nothing but the term ax square plus bx. It is the quadratic equation. That is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Now this quadratic equation has two roots. So x has two root. So x has two root. So what is that root? Minus b plus or minus square root of 4ac square root of 4ac divided by twice a. So this is the general equation, general mathematical equation, which is quadratic equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0, and root is in terms of x because this involves the x term. So root is x, that is minus b plus or minus square root of 4ac upon twice a. Now similarly, this is quadratic equation and the two roots of this quadratic equation, that is that this quadratic equation is in terms of s. So the two roots are s1 and s2. So what are these two roots? S1 and 2 is equals to. Now what is the value of minus b? The value of b is c. So it is minus c plus or minus square root of. So what is value of b? It is the c, that is c square minus what is value of 4ac? It is b square minus 4ac. So what is value of 4ac? 4, a is m and c is k. So c square minus 4mk divided by what is value of twice a is 2m. Now what is value of a? If we compare this, so what is value of a? A is your m. What is value of b? B is your c, that is damping coefficient. The value of b is c, that is damping coefficient. And what is value of c? It is your stiffness, that is k. So put this value in this equation, we get S12 is equals to minus c plus or minus square root of c square minus 4mk upon twice m. Now this twice m, we can separate this both equation. So it becomes minus c upon twice m plus or minus this twice m आतमध्ये गेल्यावर काय होईल 4m square, बरोबर. So इथं c square term आहे, so c upon twice m bracket square. So that is nothing but the c square upon 4m square minus इकडे 4m square. Now this 4mk upon 4m square, that is 2m square, square root मध्ये गेल्यावर काय 4m square. So याच्यामध्ये काय होईल 4 गेट कॅन्सल, mf गेट कॅन्सल. So आतमध्ये काय राहील, that is k by m. So these are the two roots of this characteristic equation, that is ms square plus cs plus k of damped free vibration. What are the two root? S1 is equals to minus c upon 2m plus square root of c upon 2m square minus k by m. This is S1, and what is S2? Only we have to change the sign. Plus is replaced by minus. So the two roots are given, that is what is value of S1 and what is value of S2. So S1 is equals to minus c upon 2m plus square root of c upon 2m square minus k by m. And what is the value of S2? Only plus is replaced by minus. So these are the two roots. Now the two solution of differential equation 1. There are two solutions because the differential equation 1, that is mx double dot plus cx dot plus k, has two roots. So it has two solution. Now what is two solution? Now solution of differential equation is x is equals to e raised to s2. But there are two roots, so there will be two solutions. That is x is equals to e raised to s1t and another solution x is equals to e raised to s2t. So the general solution of differential equation 1, that is mx double dot plus cx dot plus k, that general solution is given by x is equals to a e raised to s1t plus b e raised to s2t. And again, where a and b are the arbitrary constant which is to be determined from the initial conditions. See, all this equation from 1 to 8 is important. So the general solution of differential equation 1, that is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx, is the x is equals to a e raised to s1t plus b e raised to s2t, where s1 is equals to minus c upon twice m plus square root of c upon twice m square minus k by m, and s2 is equals to minus c upon twice m minus square root of c upon twice m square minus k by m. This is the value of s1 and s2. So this is the general solution of differential equation. By putting value of s1 and s2, so we get the general solution of the damp free vibration. Now the next important concept that are very much important, that is known by critical damping factor. Now we have seen the damping factor. What is damping factor? Damping factor is denoted by C, and it is nothing but the damping force per unit velocity. What is damping factor? Damping coefficient or damping factor? It is damping force per unit velocity. Damping force per unit velocity, that is F upon CL, F upon x dot. Now what is critical damping coefficient? So the critical damping coefficient, that is denoted by Cc. Cc is nothing but the critical damping coefficient. Now C is damping coefficient and Cc is critical damping coefficient. Now what is the critical damping coefficient Cc? So the critical damping coefficient Cc is defined as that value of damping coefficient. It is that value of damping coefficient that makes expression within the radial sign of equation star to 0. Now what is equation star? So what is equation star? So this is your equation star. So it is the value. What is damping coefficient? So damping coefficient, the critical damping coefficient is defined as that value of damping coefficient C for which that makes the equation star to the 0. So this equation, that is this part of your equation, it becomes 0. So if this part of equation becomes 0, then this C is determined by CC. What is C is replaced by CC. So this is the definition of critical damping coefficient. So the critical damping coefficient is defined as that value of damping coefficient C that makes the mathematical expression within the radial sign of equation star to the 0. Thereby, two roots, that is S1 and S2, are equal. Indeed, these two roots, that is S1 and S2, both are equal. That is, this plus or minus sign is vanishes because we are taking this only right hand side term. So these S1 and S2 will be same. So in other words, we can say that the critical damping coefficient Cc is that value of damping coefficient at which frequency of free damped vibration is 0 and motion is aperiodic. The motion is aperiodic. Now what is motion of aperiodic motion? Now if this is motion, so this motion is periodic motion, that is after every cycle the same repetition is there. But in case of aperiodic motion, the motion is only in one side. For example, this is the graph. So the motion is only in one side. So that type of motion is called as aperiodic motion. So critical damping coefficient is that value of damping coefficient C at which the frequency of free damped vibration is 0 and your motion is aperiodic. Now mathematically at C is equals to CC काय होईल? So mathematically at C is equals to CC, now this is our second part of your S1 and S2, that is C upon 2m square up minus k by m, and if we equate this part of C is equals to 0, then this value of C becomes Cc. So I have write square root of Cc upon twice m bracket square minus k by m is equals to 0. Now if we squaring both side, so we get Cc upon twice m bracket square is equals to k by m. So from that we get the value of, now from this equation we get the value of Cc upon twice m is equal to square root of k by m. And what is the value of Cc? Cc is equals to twice m square root of k by m. This is one value. If this m and this m get cancelled, so that becomes 2, this square root and this square, so there is square root is in this side, so 2 square root of m into square root of k, that is Cc is equals to 2 square root of k. This is another equation. Now second is, now we know that square root of k by m is omega n, so Cc is equals to this 2m goes to this side, so this Cc is equals to 2m omega n. So they are having two formulas for Cc, only derived formulas are there. So Cc is 2m omega n, and if we put the value of omega n is equal to square root of k by m, so we get another formula of Cc, that is nothing but 2 under root k m. So this is the critical damping coefficient. Now from this formula we can see that the critical damping coefficient Cc depends on only mass and stiffness of the spring. It is depends on mass and stiffness of spring. It does not depends on damping coefficient. It depends on K, that is stiffness, and M is mass. So the critical damping coefficient Cc is only dependent on mass and stiffness. The critical damping coefficient is independent on damping coefficient C or actual damping condition. It is independent of the damping coefficient C and actual damping condition. Now another important definition, this is the definition of critical damping. Now another important definition, it is called as damping factor or damping ratio. So what is that damping factor or damping ratio? It is generally denoted by zeta. It is denoted by zeta. It is damping factor or damping ratio zeta, and a damping coefficient is denoted by C, and critical damping coefficient is denoted by Cc, and damping factor or damping ratio, it is denoted by zeta. So this symbol is called as zeta. So this symbol is called as zeta. So what is damping factor? So damping factor or damping ratio, it is defined as the ratio of damping coefficient to the critical damping coefficient. What is damping factor or damping ratio? Zeta, it is defined as the ratio of, it is a ratio of damping coefficient C to the critical damping coefficient Cc. So mathematically we can say that so damping factor is equals to damping coefficient upon critical damping coefficient. That is nothing but the zeta is equals to C upon Cc. So this is one part of your free damped vibration. Now how this zeta and this Cc is incorporated in the S1, that is the root of equation S1 and S2, that we'll see. that we'll see later part. So next is the general solution to the differential equation and the types of dam system. So using this parameter, that is critical damping parameter we have seen, and damping factor, these two parameters we have studied. Now using this parameter, we can write the roots of our equation, that is S1 and S2. We can rewrite the roots of equation S1 and S2. Now we know that zeta is equals to C upon Cc. So from that we know that zeta is equals to C upon, what is Cc value? 2m omega n. So from that this omega 1 goes to this side. So what is the value of C upon 2m? So C upon 2m is zeta omega n. So what is our roots of equation? That is S12 is equals to minus C upon 2m. So what is C upon 2m? Zeta omega n. So minus zeta omega n plus or minus square root मध्ये काय होतं? C upon 2m square. So zeta square omega n square minus k by m होतं. So k by m is nothing but the omega n square. Now in that all omega n is common term. Omega n is the common term. So in bracket there is minus zeta plus or minus square root of zeta square minus 1. So this is the S1 and S2. These are the two roots. So by separating we get the value of S1 is equals to minus zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 into omega n, and S2 is equals to minus zeta minus square root of zeta square minus 1 into omega. So these are the two roots in terms of zeta or in terms of damping factor. So I will revise this. So we have seen two factors, that is one is critical damping coefficient and another is damping factors. These two terms we have seen. Now we know that the zeta, that is damping factor, zeta is equals to C upon Cc. Now the formula for Cc is 2m omega n. This is the formula for Cc, that is 2m omega n. Now this omega n goes to this side. So we get zeta omega n is equals to C upon 2m. So this is the formula, C upon 2m is equals to zeta omega n. Now what is the root of your equation? S12 is equals to minus C upon 2m. So C upon 2m is minus zeta omega n plus or minus square root of C upon 2m square. So what is value of C upon 2m is zeta into omega n square. So zeta square omega n square minus k by m. Now what is value of k by m? It is omega n square. Now omega n common. So we take common that omega n. So we get minus zeta plus or minus square root of zeta square minus 1 into omega. Now these are the two roots. So S1 is equals to minus zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 into omega n, and S2 is equals to minus zeta minus square root of zeta square minus 1 into omega n. Now depending upon the value of zeta, that is damping factor, depending upon the value of zeta, that is the damping factor, there are three types or cases of damp system. There are three types or three cases of the damp system. What is? Depending upon the value of zeta. Now zeta is nothing but the value of C upon Cc. So depending upon value of C upon Cc or value of zeta, we have three types of system or three types of cases of dam system. So let's try with our first system. Our first case is our over damped system. What is? The case one is your over damped system. Now what is over damped system? In this case, our value of zeta is greater than 1. What is? Value of zeta, that is damping factor, is greater than 1. So what is over damped system? If the damping factor or damping ratio zeta is greater than 1, or we know that zeta is nothing but the C upon Cc. So if the value of C is greater than Cc, that is if the value of damping coefficient C is greater than Cc, that is critical damping coefficient, then system is said to be over damped. Then system is said to be over damped. So what is overdamp system? If the damping factor, or it is also called as damping ratio. So if the damping factor zeta is greater than 1, or we can say the damping coefficient C is greater than critical damping coefficient, then system is said to be overdamped system. So mathematically for overdamped system, the value of zeta must be greater than 1. Now what is value of zeta? Zeta is nothing but the C upon Cc. So C upon Cc is must be greater than 1. So if Cc goes to this side, so C must be greater than Cc. So this is the overdamped system. Now in overdamped system, the damping is comparatively large. So the two roots of this system is given by S1 is equals to, we have seen this two root, that S1 is equals to minus zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 into omega 1, and the value of S2 is minus zeta square minus 1 into omega. So these are the two roots of equation, that is S1 and S2. These are the two roots. Now in this case, these two roots, that is S1 and S2, these two roots are real. Both are real and they are negative. Real and negative, because there is term minus zeta. So the both roots, these are real and negative. Hence, the overdamped system, the general solution of differential equation. Now what is your solution? X is equals to a e raised to s1t plus b e raised to s1t, s2t. Now put the value of s1 and s2. So we get the general solution, x is equals to a e raised to, now value of s1 minus zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 into omega n t. T is the another term, that is e raised to s1t. So this is value of s1. So this is value of s1. So a e raised to s1t. Again b e raised to s2t. Now what is value of s2? S2 is minus zeta square minus 1 into omega n and into t. So this is the general solution of overdamped system for the differential equation, that is mx double dot mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equals to 0. Now from this equation we have to find out these two constant, that is constant a and constant b. Now for that we require two condition, that is two initial condition. We have to find out the value of both constant, that is constant a and constant b, and these two constant can be found out from the initial conditions. So what is initial conditions? So our first condition is at t is equals to 0. Now when there is t is equals to 0, the x becomes x0. X becomes, that is displacement become maximum displacement at 0 time, that is x0. And at t is equals to 0, the velocity is 0, that is x dot is 0. So these are the two initial conditions, that is at t is equals to 0, the displacement x is equals to maximum displacement at 0 times, so it is called as x0. And at t is equals to 0, the velocity x dot is equals to 0. Now this is equation number 12, that is differential equation 12. Now we have to differentiate this equation with respect to t to get the velocity x dot. So by differentiating this equation, so left hand side dx by dt is x dot, and now a is constant, so same a is constant. Now e raised to xt, or we can say e raised to x is nothing but the derivative is e raised to x into derivative of x. So what is the derivative? E raised to this term is same, so e raised to this term is totally same, because e raised to x is derivative of e raised to x is e raised to x, and derivative of this term. Now what is derivative of this term with respect to t? because these all are constant, minus zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 omega n. These all are constant. So dt by dt is 1. So that becomes a, and this is the constant terms. So minus zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1. Similarly, for b is constant. Differentiating of this term e raised to x. So it is same, e raised to x. So e raised to minus zeta square minus 1 omega n t. Now again differentiate d by dt of this term. So in this, these are constant and dt by dt is 1. So we get b minus zeta square minus 1 omega n. Now we get two equation number 12 and equation number 13. Now in equation number 12, this is the equation for displacement x, and equation 13 is the equation for velocity. Now put these two initial conditions, that is a and b. Now what is condition a? That is first initial condition, at t is equals to 0, x is equals to x0. So this is the term. So put value of t is equals to 0 in equation number 12. So what is the value of x? X is equals to x0. So we have put the value of x as x0. Then what is the value of t? The value of t is 0. Now anything raised to 0 is 1. That is e raised to 0. Now t is 0. So this whole term becomes 0. So e raised to 0 is 1. So x is equals to a. Similarly, e raised to 0 is 1. So it is a plus b. So this is the, by substituting first initial condition, we get x0 is equals to a plus b. This is first equation. Now we have to put the second condition. So what is second condition? At t is equals to 0, x dot is 0. So this condition b we have to put in equation number 13. So what is the value of x dot? X dot is 0. So 0 is equals to. Now the value of t is 0. So e raised to this term. So this term becomes 0 and e raised to 0 is 1. So the remaining term is this term. That is a minus zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 into omega. Similarly, plus this term is 0 because of t is equals to 0. So e raised to 0 is 1. So remaining term is this b minus zeta square root of zeta square minus 1 into omega n. Ita t na into omega. Now this is equation number 14, that is x0 is equals to a plus b, and this is equation number 15, that is 0 is equals to a into minus zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 plus b. Now from that, by solving these two equations, there are two equations and two unknown. So by solving these two equations, we get the value of a as, what is value of a? A becomes zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 into x0 upon square root of 2 square root of zeta square minus 1. And what is value of b? Minus zeta. Only difference is this. There is plus zeta, there is minus zeta. So only the difference between a and b is this. You can solve these two equations. You can put the value of b as x0 minus a and put the value of b x0 minus a in this equation, second 15 number equation, x0 minus a, and from that we get the value of a. Similarly, if we get value of a, you put this equation, we get value of a is equals to value of b is equals to x0 minus a. So that is nothing but the, we get two constants, that is a and b. Now again, put these two constants, we have determined a and b in equation number 12. Put these two constants, that is constant a and constant b, in equation number 12. So our equation becomes, this is our equation. So x is equals to, this is common term, x0 and 2 upon zeta square minus 1. This is common term. So in bracket, a is zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 into e raised to s1t, that is minus zeta plus square root of zeta square minus 1 omega n t, plus only the term is changes. So minus plus zeta is becomes minus zeta, then plus square root of zeta square minus 1 e raised to s2t. So what is s2? That is minus zeta square minus 1 into omega n. So this is our final differential equation, that is x is equals to, when the system is overdamped, that is zeta is greater than 1. When system is overdamped, then this is the general solution for the differential equation mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equals to 0, and when the system is overdamped. Now from that equation, from this equation, if we draw a graph for this overdamped system, so this first terms, that is a e raised to s1t, this is the graph for a e raised to s1t. So that dotted line, it is shown by dotted line. It is the upper part, because the a part in which zeta is positive. So this is in upper part. Now, but in case of B, the zeta is negative, so it is negative exponential curve. This is positive exponential curve, and this is negative exponential curve. And by adding these both, we get the solution, that is general solution. The x is, that is x versus time curve. So we get the dark line shown by this curve. So this curve, this is upper curve, this is lower curve, and this is addition of both. That is, it is general, that is x is equals to both a e raised to this term plus b e raised to this term. And after infinite time, this curve comes to be at equilibrium position. So after infinite time, this curve is going to at infinite time. Now we know that in overdamped system, as both roots s1 and s2 are negative, the displacement x goes on decreasing with respect to time. So in a e raised to s1t, it is decreasing, and in b e raised to t, it is also decreasing, because there is exponential term, so it is decreasing exponentially. This is also decreasing exponentially, but one is in positive direction, one is in negative direction. Now the characteristics of this type of motion is shown in figure. So this is the characteristics for overdamped system. Now what is characteristic curve? It is the curve between displacement versus time. So it is seen that the displacement is sum of two decaying exponential with initial values a and b. So it is sum of this first exponential term and this is second exponential term, and this is your final the displacement for overdamped system. Now from this graph, what are the conclusion or what are the significance of this overdamped system? So the first significance is the motion which is represented by equation 17 is overdamped system is aperiodic, because it is only in the upper side of the mean position. So this is your mean position. So it is only upper side of the mean position. So the motion is aperiodic. So in case of periodic motion, it is in upper side also, it is in lower side also. So this is periodic motion, but it is only in upper side. So this is aperiodic. So the motion represented by equation 7, that is the overdamped system, is aperiodic motion. So therefore this system is non-vibratory. This system is non-vibratory. Now, non-vibratory system, what is vibratory system? It is the motion should be repeat itself after every interval of time. So this motion is not repeating. So this is non-vibratory motion. So in case of overdamped system, the motion is aperiodic. This is first significance. And what is second significance? The system, that is overdamped system, it is non-vibratory system. Now, what is another significance, third significance? Once the system is displaced from its equilibrium position, it will take infinite time to come back to its equilibrium position. So from the diagram it is seen that it will take infinite time to come back to its equilibrium position. So as the most of system does not have so much of damping, so this type of motion is rarely found or rarely encountered. So this type of curve is rarely found in case of any vibratory system. So generally we are not using the overdamped system in the any vibratory system. So we are using another two types. One is critically damped system and underdamped system. Now, about which, what is the significance of critically damped system and what is the significance of underdamped system, we will see in our next lecture. We are going to see the significance of both and their derivation of the critically damped system where zeta is 1 and the underdamped system where the value of zeta is less than 1. Thank you.